Best chance in the afternoon, the high 88 to 92. For Wednesday, partly sunny with a shower or thunderstorm mainly in the afternoon, high 86 to 90. From the Florida Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Joe Lundberg.
Thank you very much, Joe Lundberg. It's 25 minutes before 8 o'clock. Beautiful looking Monday. Hope you had a good weekend. The weekend kind of started Wednesday afternoon, didn't it, Robin?
Yeah, it did.
Even though we were here every day, it felt like we had somewhat of a 4th of July. We went over and saw some of the things going on over at God and Country Day. Mm-hmm. We donated blood. It was my very first time. I know I mentioned this on Friday, but I gave the double dose.
Right.
They call it the Alex machine, ALYX, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right. There's only one other thing I want to say before we go to John Scalercio and talk about his book before it's too late. There is the brewing of a storm out there, a tropical storm.
Oh, wow.
And it is Chantel, I think. See, the printer's not working too well, so I'm having a hard time reading this. But I believe it's Tropical Storm Chantel, right? Mm-hmm. Have you heard this?
Yes, I have.
Have you heard about this one?
No, I haven't.
Yeah. Apparently, right now, the cone of possibility, by the way, puts South Florida. South Florida is in the cone of possibility. I've often thought I should have a cone of possibility for everything, you know, like, or just use the expression if nothing else, you know, like, hey, you want to come to my party on Friday night? Well, the cone of possibility does include it. It does include the possibility that I could be there, but I might not be. So we'll keep an eye on that. And the other fun news to take a second look at, Robin, is this Dinosaur World place in Plant City. I keep hearing about it, and now they've got 2 new attractions. Do you like dinosaurs, Doctor?
Dinosaurs, I always did when I was a child. You know?
Yeah, they're
well, see,
fascinating.
this is the thing. And Galen, you know, he'll be on in a little while. He has this theory that at 11, we forget everything we ever knew about dinosaurs because suddenly girls take over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, that's what happens.
Well, they're a dinosaur also, though.
Yeah.
They can be tough on you.
But the more I become a dinosaur, the older I get, in other words,
right,
the more I'm interested in them again. So I don't know. It sounds like a fun place. They've got a 5,000 square foot open air exhibit with dinosaurs in it. How about that?
We have to go.
And then there's another one called the Carnivore Cave Education Center. That's where you get a look at the tools and experiments performed by paleontologists. Probably a lot. Cool. You know, your business, teeth. I mean, this is the big thing with those guys. They always look at the teeth of all these animals, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right. John J. Scalercio is in the studio, as we mentioned before. And if you didn't hear us, he is a dentist here in Ocala, and he may have worked on your mouth for all I know. He's also a golfer and a supporter of the University of Pittsburgh's football and basketball team. He's written his first novel, and he lives here in Ocala, so he came into the studio. Those of you who listen to the show all the time know that we often interview novelists at this time slot, and very rarely, though, do we have them actually in the studio. So this is an honor. Before it's too late, John J. Scalercio, he says it's not a memoir. Good morning. How are you?
Great, Larry, and you?
Good. Now, so how long ago did the book start? And what was the genesis of the book?
Well, the genesis was many years ago, maybe back in 2002. Some thoughts started to accumulate, collect in my mind thoughts of a sister who had succumbed to a blood disorder, like I described in my novel here. And I wanted to write something to, just to keep her in my forefront. And on a flight one day, while I was heading to Washington, D.C. to meet a friend of mine, I started scribbling some notes and, just put the notes away, never came up with it again. And then, I always kept thinking, I want to write this story. I believe I have the ability to do so, and I had the desire to do so. So, one day I sat down on my computer keyboard and just began to type, and my wife came home later that evening, and she asked what I was doing. And I says, well, I decided to put my thoughts into words. She started to read it and said, well, it held my interest, and so I kept reading. And then the following day, my mother-in-law came in and handed me a book, and the book was I don't want to say the exact title.
You can say it. I mean, just so we know what it is. Is it a novel or was it a?
It's a book that it was purchased at Barnes and Noble. But the book began to criticize people who were so-called, they called themselves authors, but, you know, he was critical of these people.
Oh.
And he
Now, why did your mother-in-law give you that book?
Yes.
What the heck was going on there?
Started to read this, it started to deflate my balloon here.
I bet. Oh, man.
And, however...
I'm with you.
I'll
be your wingman on this one. What's her name?
But as I read more and more into the book,
Right.
then he began to criticize accomplished writers like Stephen King, John Grisham.
Okay.
And he was saying that they're not good writers. And he said they're good storytellers, but not good writers. And I thought, well, you know, I don't aspire to be like a Mark Twain or a Hemingway. I says, I just want to be a storyteller. And I believed I could do that. And so
I think Hemingway would have argued that. I think he would have said, I am a storyteller.
Mm-hmm.
So you know what the difference is?
What's that?
They have to be dead.
You know what? You're probably right. And I don't want to be in that category yet.
So in other words, she had good intentions. She wanted you to see what a critic would say, what a critic would say, of
Yes.
if doing a critique, so you would avoid that.
Yes.
But how do you avoid that? Oh, well, anyway.
Well, like I said, after reading that, then I got excited again, and then I went to the local Barnes and Noble store and picked up how-to books, how to write dialogue, how to create suspense, and.
But see, now Rob and I have
done.
done this, what we're doing right now, for a very, very long time.
Okay.
And let me tell you something. This is something I've thought about critics. If there was a critic standing on the side of the road when I first started to learn to ride a bicycle, I would have had my ego deflated and said, "Oh, forget it. I'm never going to be
Right.
good. I'm never going to get there."
Right.
The idea is you get up on the bike and you do it.
Exactly.
You know, and if there's a critic saying, "You're never going to learn to ride that bike," you know, that's why God gave you 5 fingers.
Right.
That's right.
Exactly.
Yeah, so with 10, I guess. I'm only
that's
looking
how
at
it
one
came
hand.
about.
I'm only looking at one hand in my mind's eye. All right, so you started writing the book. Now it sounds. Let me ask you this about
Okay.
the writing process. Did you enjoy the very first day you started? Did you enjoy being in that place?
I did. And to me, it was relaxing. I enjoyed doing what I did. You know, I knew that at the time, you know, my thoughts were more or less like a monotone type of conversation, and I knew I needed to restructure sentences or whatever, but I still enjoyed putting the story together.
Because when you're in that place, when you're writing, you really are detached from this place. I mean, whatever's happening around you.
Exactly.
And we've spoken to so many authors. I mean, one that I can think of was she was writing about the winter, and it was the middle of summer.
Right.
And when she went outside and realized it was warm or hot, it struck her as odd. Like, oh man, I was thinking it was going to be cold out here. She was so into that moment.
This had to be extremely emotional for you, though, because every scenario you had generated in the book must have reminded you of the memory you had of your sister.
It was, and you know, my sister died at the age of 8, and this was 1960 at 8.
Oh wow!
In
How old were you at the
1963.
time?
I was 13, and so I remember it like it was yesterday. And whenever I were to explain what had happened, or just make a comment on the occurrence, you know, even today it still brings tears to my eyes so many years later.
Yeah, be careful with
So
that
it was
sunscreen.
Yes.
Did you start to write it as a tribute to your sister, and it became a novel, or?
You know, I did. I wanted to incorporate her condition in a novel, and when I actually started, I didn't have an outline. I just started to write and started writing, and then it went this direction. I said, okay, then pulled it back in, and it took another tangent and pulled it back in. So the story just kind of like evolved on its own, and that was interesting, you know.
So do you think you'll be writing more, and do you think that'll be the method in the future?
Well, I don't know if that's the method in the future, but you know, right now, you know, my hands are so full with what I'm doing with teeth, and then trying to promote what I'm doing right now. But you know, I haven't thought about writing another novel.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, it's something I'm sure I'd consider one of these days.
Do we? I know you said it's not a memoir, but do we get to know you? Do we get to know your sister? Do we get to know anything personal about you or your life in this book?
Yes, I did mix some factual things with fictional, and for the most part, a lot of it. But unless you knew me as a person, I don't think you would recognize what part is me and what part is all make believe.
And being a doctor, you must have had to have done a lot of research on this condition, and then how to apply it to the characters.
Yeah, I really understood the disease because in dental school, the first 2 years of dental school are very similar to medical school.
Mm-hmm.
We take pathology, anatomy, all the basic medical courses, and in pathology, we spent a lot of time on thalassemia and other blood disorders.
Mm-hmm.
So, I did have a knowledge of that. But there are excerpts in a book that dealt with other medical issues that I consulted with friends of mine, and they pretty much guided me as to how to write this particular scene.
Mm-hmm.
Let's be fair to the book, because we're so interested in you and how you came to be a writer from being a dentist, or to do the things simultaneously. And I know you prepared some written stuff, and it's
Right.
okay. It's okay if you refer to the writing. I just think a dialogue sounds better to the listeners.
Yes, I'd rather.
But let me ask you if you could do this. Could you somehow verbalize like a movie trailer version of the storyline in the book before it's too late?
A movie trailer version.
Yeah, like a synopsis of the storyline, like the elevator pitch.
Yes. Well, the main character, Dr. William Rossi, he's a pillar in his community, a respected professional, a loving husband, devoted father. He unfortunately experiences a tragic personal loss. His daughter was raped and murdered by a stranger, and over the course of months, he began to take on different psychotic type of behavior. And he also learned that he had mob connections with the family, that his grandfather was a part of the mob, and because of this, there were ties to the mob. And as he became more and more psychotic, and his personality changed from a loving, caring healthcare and father to a vengeful, hateful, calculating individual. He at that time contacted his mob connection and said, the police are having difficulty finding my daughter's murderer.
Right.
Well, is there anything that you can do to help me?
Yeah.
And so he goes to work, and he finds the man, and basically hands him on a platter to Dr. Rossi for him to get his justice and satisfaction for his daughter's
Really?
death.
Oh, wow. They don't do it for him. They bring him to him.
No, they bring him to him. He always, as he was becoming more and more psychotic, he just kept visualizing what he would want to do to this particular
My
man.
goodness.
And so, yeah, then he goes,
Wow. So we really don't get to know you, I hope.
No. But, again, there's no similarity, there's no resemblance.
Right.
That is not me, that part.
Right, okay,
And just
okay.
like, just like an actor, say Hannibal Lecter, okay? And, or in the movie Hannibal.
Right.
Yeah.
Anthony Hopkins. I mean, he's not what he, in real life, portrays what he does in a movie, but same thing here. I mean, there's some...
Wow.
There's some issues here that don't reflect what
So
I
no
am
one. So now
personally.
I saw one of the quotes said riveting, beautifully written, a home run. That was an attorney describing the book, right?
Yes.
One sick puppy is how attorney Kelly Casey describes Dr. Scalercio. Wow. And you gave me that to read on the air? Chilling and nail biting. So let me be an armchair or an amateur or layperson psychologist, if I could. when you were 13 and your sister died at 8, I mean, did you kind of wish you could get revenge on the disease, this unseen criminal?
No, I think a lot of this came from my watching countless movies. I mean, I like action type movies.
I got you. Right.
For example, what I started writing this novel some years ago, quite a few years ago, and I shelved it, thinking that it wasn't good enough to do anything with, and I'd go back and revise every now and then, and then one day a friend of mine looked it over and he says, "You know what? I really think you have something good. You need to tweak this a little bit more," and so I did so. And as I was in my final revision, maybe a couple months away, I happened to be watching a movie with Gerard Butler, Jamie Lee Foxx, titled Law Abiding Citizen. Okay. And as I'm watching this movie, all of a sudden I jumped up from my seat, looked for my wife, and I says, "Cindy," I said, "if I don't complete this novel soon," I said, "somebody's going to come up with my idea."
Yes.
I said, this movie, Law Abiding Citizen, there was a scene in there that was so eerily similar to what I had written. I said, it's only a matter of time before somebody comes up with this, and then
I think that's true.
I'm out of luck.
I think that happens a lot. People have ideas for things, they don't pursue them, and next thing you know, you see them out there somewhere.
Right.
I like how over the years that this idea was still in the forefront of your mind, that this is something that had to be written.
Yes, and like I said, I always had I believed I had a story to tell, and I thought that I was capable of doing so. I always liked writing. I'd gotten a great background in school. I knew grammar, and I always had the ability to be a storyteller. People always liked.
So you had to write the story before it was too late.
Before it was too late.
And that's the title of the book, Before It's Too Late. John J. Scalercio is the author. We're going to kind of talk to you throughout this whole hour. Are you able to stay with us till 8:30?
Yes,
okay.
I am.
So what we're doing now is we'll take a little break, and when we come back, we'll have on the phone Galen Unold from Life South, who helps us remember that donating blood saves lives.
Okay.
And we always have a conversation. Today it's going to be about coffee. Are you a coffee drinker?
Yes, I am.
Good. Robin is Robin is a reluctant coffee drinker, I would think.
Yeah.
And so we'll talk about the book some more. We'll talk about you, but right now we're going to take a little break, and we're doing our interview this morning a little bit differently than we would normally do it. We'll be right back. Deal? Deal.
Hi folks, I'm Seth McBride with Pasture Sports, here today to tell you about our annual early buy school uniform sale, calling all students and parents. Now is the time to buy your school uniforms from Pasture Sports. Buy now, save huge for next year. So come on down to Pasture Sports for the only big school uniform sale of the year. Located on Highway 200 across from Honda of Ocala, Pasture Sports, your uniform experts.
Here are today's headlines from The Source, WOCA. A tropical disturbance racing westward in the central Atlantic Ocean has turned into Tropical Storm Chantal. Models project the system will aim generally northwest and arrive over the Lesser Antilles by tomorrow. It's still too early to say whether the system might put Florida in its sights, although the cone of possibility does include South Florida. Satellite imagery indicates that shower and thunderstorm activity has increased in organization since yesterday afternoon. Environmental conditions are also conducive for additional development. Tropical storm warnings would likely be issued for portions of the Lesser Antilles regardless of development. This system is expected to produce locally heavy rains in that area, as well as wind to tropical storm force in squalls over portions of the Lesser Antilles tonight and tomorrow. An Air Force Reserve Hurricane Hunter aircraft is scheduled to investigate the disturbance this afternoon. The Marion County Sheriff's Office is reporting that the body of a 69-year-old man was discovered Saturday night floating in a swimming pool at the Pine Run Estates Community Center off of State Road 200. The deceased man is identified in the report as Eric E. Zook of Ocala. The Marion County Sheriff's Office Major Crimes Unit is investigating the death, and no further details were provided. The Marion County Sheriff's Office is investigating the shooting death of a 22-year-old man whose body was discovered by a motorist Friday morning near the intersection of Southeast 120th Street and Maricamp Road. The report indicates that a 911 call was made from a passing motorist at 1:12 a.m. on Friday. The motorist waited with the lifeless body, which has since been identified as that of Travis Allen Stringer of Bellevue. Officials said Stringer died from a gunshot wound, but would not say where the wound or wounds were located on the man's body. They also said they are awaiting the results of an autopsy and a toxicology report, and that the case has been classified as a suspicious death. Anyone with any information about the case can call the Sheriff's Office at 732-9111, Crime Stoppers at 368-STOP, or go online to ocalacrimestoppers.com. In a financial disclosure report just released, Florida Governor Rick Scott showed a net worth of $83.7 million as of December 31st of 2012, which is up slightly from $82.9 million the previous year. Scott, like all public officials in Florida, must file an annual financial disclosure report by July 1st of each year. In his 2013 report, Scott's main assets are his $9.2 million beachfront home in Naples and a $72.8 million blind trust fund. Unlike most Floridians, Scott reported no credit card debt, mortgages, or any other liabilities. Scott's numbers are down compared with the $218 million net worth that he listed before he ran for governor in 2010. But in his first campaign for public office, Scott put a major dent in that number by spending more than $70 million of his personal wealth on his successful bid for governor. The governor's financial numbers were also impacted in 2011 when he transferred his stock in Solantic, a chain of healthcare clinics he founded, to his wife Anne. The investment was also sold that year. In contrast to last year, when he reported more than $25 million in income, mainly from the blind trust, Scott reported $3.2 million this year from his trust fund. Although he is entitled to more than $130,000 per year as governor, Scott has declined his public salary. Dinosaur World is introducing new additions to the theme park this summer. Premier Interactive Entertainment will include 3 entertainment and educational shows and a new exhibit at the Plant City attraction. Mammoth, Giants of the Ice Age is a 5,000-square-foot open-air exhibit, according to a statement from the park. In addition, another exhibit called Exploration Cave, a newly expanded carnivore cave education center, provides an up-close look at the tools and experiments performed by paleontologists in the field. And those are the headlines from The Source, WOCA 96.3 FM and 1370 AM.
Celebrate your energy independence every day with SolarTrek. Be part of the solar revolution and eliminate your electric bill. Call SolarTrek at 352-351-1333 for solar pool heating, solar electric, solar hot water, solar air conditioning. SolarTrek offers free estimates. Plus, there are many rebates, grants, incentives, and financing is available. No money out of pocket and a payment less than you pay the utility company. Don't delay. Call today. 352-351-1333. SolarTrek.
Are you wasting hundreds or thousands of dollars on termite retreat fees? If you're not with Turner Pest Control, you probably are. Turner Pest Control offers the industry's only termite and pest control package that never charges retreat fees, ever. You can get started today for only $99. This is a value of $500 or more. This includes treatments, installation of monitoring stations, quarterly pest control, and a lifetime guarantee, all for an unbelievable low $99. Even if you have another pest control provider, visit turnerpest.com to find out how you can avoid paying those high termite retreat fees.
Universal Soil Solutions has arrived, bringing remediation through education to Marion County. Supported through an exclusive partnership with WOCA and located at the Paddock Mall Center Court. Our staff will make clear the entire sinkhole process. Know exactly what it takes to repair your structure. Be smart, get educated. Doing so significantly reduces the toll this process can have on both property and property owner alike. We are your sinkhole solution. Universal Soil Solutions, where integrity meets trust. Stop by and meet our staff, or for additional information, call 877-519-2777.
You're listening to WOCA News Talk 1370, Ocala's source for what's happening in today's hottest, up-to-date news and topics.
Thank you very much, Mr. Relatively Deep Voice Man. 1 minute before 8 o'clock. Nice looking, what is today, Monday. Galen Unold is on the phone from Life South, and he, of course, comes on each morning to remind us the importance of donating blood and saving some lives. And in the studio with us, you probably heard a few sentences just there from Dr. John J. Scalercio. He's here to
chatting.
I heard, to share with us his book before it's too late. And, of course, he's part of the show, and so he's going to be chatting with us while we speak to Galen. Good morning, Galen.
Hey, good morning, Larry, Robin, Doctor. How are y'all?
Pretty good. Where are you right now?
I'm at your favorite place, actually. I'm just passing by. I'm waving at it for you.
You're waving at my favorite place? Oh, the Cafe Risque?
Yeah,
oh,
absolutely.
There you go.
Okay. Yeah. That's my favorite place, Doctor.
We're genuine.
I'll tell Becky you said hello.
Oh, you don't know where it is?
What is it? I don't even know what it is.
Oh, it's exactly what you think it is.
Like a gentleman's club?
It's like a gentleman's club.
Okay.
I don't ever call it that. Do you call it that, Galen? A gentleman's club?
I don't know. No,
have you ever
I think
gone?
That's what you call it when you say, I'm going to the gentleman's club. Yeah, if you're going to a bachelor party, I'm going to see strippers. So it all depends on your mindset at the time.
By the way, this is WOCA Ocala, the source. That was my legal ID right there. I'm sharing what we're doing.
Well done. I like how you added the source.
Well, I had to, I'm trying to get on with the show here. Okay. So going from strippers to coffee. How was your weekend? How was your weekend, first of all?
It was really good. I mean, the weather was better than I thought it was going to be, so it was nice. Got to spend some quality time with the family in the pool. It was nice.
Yeah, I drove to see my brother in Port Charlotte. Is that right? Port Charlotte?
Yes, Port Charlotte.
And he's got a boat. And so he asked me if I wanted to go out on the boat, which I did. And he and his wife, my sister-in-law, took me out into, what is it called? Charlotte Harbor, I think. Mm-hmm. Anyway, long story short, it took about an hour to get to the Gulf of Mexico. And when you get there were these large fish. They're tarpon. Have you seen these fish?
Right. Of course, yeah.
And they flip upside down and they show their bellies to the sun. They're gigantic.
They're huge.
I mean, I'm not used to seeing fish that big that close.
Especially in a little boat.
I don't know why they turn like that, but they show their big silvery belly to the sun, I guess. That's what they do. And
maybe they're showing off for the ladies.
And I don't know. I tried that one. It didn't work. All right, so...
yeah, those are some full fish. But
so that's
also it's scallop season. So
there was a lot.
You guys didn't go get. There were probably a lot of boats in the shallows getting scallops.
There were a lot of boats out there. I didn't see anybody catch anything, but
were there a lot of diving and snorkelers and things like that?
Not that I saw. I mean, it was pretty rough water. I thought it was rough. I mean, what do I know? I mean, I know swimming pools. What do I know? Usually the water's like glass from wherever I go, right?
Well, there's scalloping in that area once you go up a little bit north, which is really, really fun.
But anyway, so there were boats out there with like 10 fishing poles all working at one time.
Oh, sure, yeah.
Just put lots of line out there, I guess that's the trick, right?
You got to get to do the tarpon. That's
sorry, before we got on the boat, my brother said, "Do you get seasick?" I said, "I don't know. I guess we'll find out." and we're about an hour and a half into it. I said, "I guess I passed the test. I'm not sick at all." Little tiny boat. Had a good time.
Yeah.
Awesome. All right, hold on. Let me answer the phone first, and then we're going to talk about coffee. Believe it or not. Good morning. You're on the air.
Good morning.
Hey.
Hey, having your author on the program this morning made me think to call you and tell you a little story about this weekend.
Okay, what happened?
You had an author on a while back, Lisa Jackson, probably about 6 months ago.
Okay.
And you shared that information on our Facebook, and I liked her, her Facebook page. And ever since, I've been seeing her post, and she always posts pictures of animals. So yesterday I sent her a message asking her if she would donate one of her books, a signed copy for a silent auction we're having that's going to benefit the Humane Society.
Okay.
And another charity. She wrote back telling me she sent me 10 of them.
Oh, wow.
And I thought of you guys, because if you didn't have her on your show, I would never have been her Facebook friend.
Wow, well, good.
And she has 66,000 Facebook friends. And for her, and she answered me back in like 20 minutes and said she'd love to.
Well, that was nice.
I just had to share that with you.
Yeah, Lisa Jackson. Well, good.
Yeah, I think she's a suspense writer, and she's like 75 published books and #1 New York bestseller. But, hey, she was on WOCA.
She was able to give you 10 of them, though. Not bad.
Yeah, and all because of WOCA.
There you go.
All right.
Thank you. That's why we call the source, right? All right. So
that's pretty cool.
So, Galen, are you a coffee drinker?
No.
Not at all?
Not at all. I don't like it.
All right, doctor, are you? I think I
went through a war and didn't drink coffee, so I'm pretty sure I'm never going to drink coffee now.
Well, I actually was not a coffee drinker until I started playing colleges, which I was in my 20s, so it was a long time ago. But I drank coffee as a nighttime beverage because everybody says it keeps you awake. To be honest, it doesn't do anything for me. It's just. So in other words, I developed a taste for coffee because I was drinking it for the purpose that everybody said it would do. But if I was tired, I was tired, and it didn't do anything for me.
I find the same thing.
Same thing for you, right? It's just maybe it's a myth.
Now, my kids drink coffee.
No.
Oh yeah, my 9-year-old drank it since he was like 2.
Oh wow.
Wow.
But now let me
and it calms him down because he gets a little hyper, and that caffeine calms him down.
Really?
So.
It's supposed to do the exact opposite.
Well, I mean, caffeine's a drug, so I think it reacts differently to everybody, right, doctor? I don't know.
It does react differently, but yeah, it's supposed to be a stimulant and then make them more active, but who knows?
Can you tell by when you're looking at somebody's teeth if they drink coffee?
A lot of stain. Yes.
That's a yes.
Yeah, I would think you could, yeah.
I keep my lips closed.
Or smoke cigarettes. You'll see little dark dots on their palate with the nicotine being absorbed into
that's
the
a
tissue.
tobacco thing, but not a coffee thing, right?
Not a coffee.
Well, I stopped. I haven't smoked in a long time.
Scary.
Good morning. You're on the air.
Good morning, Larry, Robin, Galen, and Guest.
Hey, Jim.
How is everybody this morning?
Good.
Hey, I've been a regular coffee drinker, talking about the coffee for, I don't know, probably 40 years.
Uh-huh.
And I can still, sometimes I'll drink, especially towards lunchtime, I'll drink a cup of coffee, and then in like 10 minutes, I can barely keep my eyes open.
Yeah, it makes you go to sleep.
Yeah, and I've already drank 4 or 5 cups at least.
Yeah.
And then that, for some reason, that one right there, it's like going, like I'm getting ready for surgery or something to knock me out. I mean, I can barely keep my eyes open.
That's funny. That's funny.
Y'all have a good day.
Yeah, thank you, Jim.
Well, maybe that's where they came up with that slogan, "Don't drink and drive." Right? If
There you
falls
go.
asleep drinking coffee.
Right. Maybe they meant coffee. Who knows, right? All right, so I have here now. So here's the thing. I was I'm pretty. I'm not very daring when it comes to food. I go to a buffet. There's 101 different things. I'll get a cheeseburger.
We've discussed this before, sure.
I know.
Your lack of trying fish.
I know, just right.
Seafood.
Right. Fish is an example, but coffee is another example. Whenever I go to like Starbucks, just give me a regular coffee with cream. That's all I want. I don't want any of that fancy stuff. I tried hazelnut one time. It tastes like palmetto bugs to me. I don't want anything. Right. So anyway, I found this information on the Coffee Aficionado website. And it gives you some things you should try if you are in my category, okay? You ready for these things?
We're ready.
Now, first of all, it does not mention coffee ice cream. I don't really like coffee ice cream.
No.
I don't either.
No.
No.
Now,
I don't like the smell.
Really? Now, Joe loves coffee ice cream, he told me. And Doris, who used to work here, loves coffee.
Well, they drink a lot of coffee.
They do?
Doesn't Joe drink a lot of coffee?
Yeah, but I do. I drink a lot, but I don't want coffee ice cream. Anyway, so here's have you heard of this? Coffee milk.
Have you heard of that, Doctor?
No.
No.
Coffee milk. It's just like
How do you get the milk out of a bean? Keep going.
No, you pour a glass. You know, like when you pour a glass of milk and then you pour Hershey's syrup in it.
Oh yeah, that's
that's chocolate. This is coffee syrup. You pour it. I know. It doesn't look good to me. It looks like chocolate milk, but. All right,
looks aren't
chocolate milk. And it's not like chocolate milk's expensive or hard to get. There's not an alternative. Wow, but there was just something that was a different alternative to chocolate milk.
But this is coffee milk.
Right? Nobody's saying that.
Coffee milk was introduced to Rhode Island sometime back in the 1930s. How about that?
That's
somebody probably had to walk from one end of the state to the other. Like, man, if I just had something.
Yeah, right. The next one is Cafe Is it Maraschino, Rob? You're looking at the word. Maraschino?
Oh, Maraschino sounds good.
Maraschino.
You mean the cherries?
Well, it says, this is what it says. It says it's created in Italy, not Morocco, as many people might think by the sound of its name. So it must sound like Morocco. Moroccoino or something. Maraschino. I don't know. But anyway, it looks good.
Yeah.
Let me describe it to you.
It's great.
It's served in a small glass, and it consists of a shot of espresso, cocoa powder, and milk froth.
Well, there you go.
Milk froth.
That's like a chocolate kind of espresso.
Whip it up with beaters, you'd be fine.
So do you drink espresso?
No.
See?
No.
So I've never even had an espresso.
You've never? I've tasted it, but it doesn't. It tastes like coffee.
We get when Robin and I go to like Starbucks or something like that. Robin does think outside the box. You've ordered that espresso, right?
Yeah. I like to order something different every time.
All right. The next one is the Vietnamese iced coffee.
Okay, what's in there?
Anybody have this?
No.
What do they call it, Charlie?
Let's see. This coffee beverage is like Greek frappe. Anybody ever have that?
Have you had that, Doctor?
No.
It's more popularly known as Safe Da. I guess that's the Vietnamese name.
Okay.
It's made with finely ground Vietnamese-grown dark roast coffee, separately brewed with a small metal French drip filter. That sounds like too much work.
Yeah, that does sound like a lot of work.
Yeah. All right.
You know, if you buy the bean and then you don't have the right filter, it sounds depressing.
You're right.
There you go.
You know, we got this special coffee maker here. Is it Kruger?
Yeah.
It's we don't ever use it because it's so expensive. I mean, one cup of coffee costs like 80 cents.
Oh, is that right? I don't know.
I mean,
I don't know.
that's not expensive if you go into the coffee shop.
Yes,
but normally you just buy them. All right, the next one is Irish coffee.
Okay, I've heard of that.
Anybody have
I've
Irish
heard of
coffee?
that. I've never drank.
Oh, it's just got liquor in it.
Oh, there you go. I'm
Irish
there.
whiskey and
No, I don't think it does.
I'm there.
Let me see. You add this is what you do. Let's see. In a coffee mug, add a tablespoon of brown sugar. Add a shot of preferably a nice Scots or Irish whiskey. There you go. There you go.
There you go. The doctor knows.
And then you fill the mug with hot coffee.
Yeah.
I'm there.
There you go. So that's what an Irish coffee is. It's an alcoholic beverage.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know that. So this Irish pub down the road that Buddy went to the other day, that's what you would get if I went over there?
I don't know. Probably.
I'm sure you would.
Well, that's what I would get if I went over there. Come on,
I thought
Randy.
you would get like shepherd's pie or something.
Shepherd's pie, yeah.
Oh, I've had that too.
All right, the next one, I think I've seen this one at McDonald's. Frappe. See, I won't even order it from McDonald's. It's like, just get coffee. I don't understand the whole expensiveness of this stuff, though. $2.82 for a bottle of this coffee.
It makes you feel more refined, Larry.
Have you had frappes, Doctor?
No, I just drink black coffee, period. Nothing,
you go.
Really?
Nothing else. That's it.
You don't even go for the cream?
No.
That's
Good for you.
I heard you're a Jersey kid, right? That explains
Pittsburgh
everything.
guy.
Oh, Pittsburgh.
There you go.
Pittsburgh, right.
Greek frappe is a foam-covered iced coffee drink made from spray-dried instant coffee.
Okay.
It is very popular in Greece. The country, not the substance. Anyway,
that's why WD-40
right,
is so
so they're
popular.
recommending we try these. Cappuccino, I've never tried cappuccino.
Yeah, I have.
Robin has, yeah.
Starbucks.
Why do they always put like
These sound like really common drinks. I mean, I'm surprised you haven't. I mean, I just don't like coffee, but if you like coffee,
They sound common. I know they sound common to me too, but I've never had them. They always show them with like a shape, like they put the cream into it, and then they move it around so it looks like a heart or a face.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
That's a lot of work.
The next one is Greek Turkish coffee. Nobody had this either, huh?
No.
Nope.
This is.
I'm sure it's strong.
This
I bet it is.
This is made of roasted beans. It's an all coffee.
That's right.
The coffee powder is thinner. It would be good to find it if you're looking for authentic taste. There you go. Whatever.
There you are.
What do you get from the coffee?
taste.
The coffee aficionados have a picture of a Starbucks Frappuccino,
Oh, okay.
which looks good. It's got cream on top. I think I'd like it up until the brown stuff.
It's chocolate, I
Not
think.
ringing a bell for anybody either. Huh?
No, I had that at Starbucks.
I got two more. Now the next one just looks like a cup of coffee to me. Cafe au lait, right?
Yes.
Is that how you pronounce that, Robin?
Yeah.
It looks like coffee with milk.
Right. That one I've heard of.
There you go. Just coffee with milk. But you call it coffee au lait.
Olay.
That's right.
Olay?
And you charge $5.
T is silent. That's French.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Is that how you say it? Olay?
Cafe
You speak-
au
you
lait.
speak-
Oh, cafe au lait.
Oh, okay.
I like it.
Good morning. You're on the air.
Good morning, all. You know why they call espresso coffee espresso?
No, why?
If you drink a few cups of that, you're making an express run to the bagnio.
Really?
Leastways, that's what happened to me when I was over there in Italy.
Oh, wow.
It is kind of thick, and as I remember it, little small cups and kind of thick with that heavy cream, and I'm lactose intolerant anyway.
Ooh.
Espresso.
All right.
Tell ya. Have a good evening or a good day, rather.
Thank you. By the way, that is the number one most recommended thing by these coffee aficionados is espresso. It says it is exactly the opposite of cappuccino. It's for the sprinters, the people who are rushing, and all they want is a big dose of caffeine.
There you go. No dose.
And this is the one that comes in the little tiny...
Yeah, little petite little things.
Oh, gee.
Have you had this one?
No.
Robin, have you had this?
No, I'm afraid to try it.
Galen hasn't had any of this, right?
No, I don't drink coffee.
If you were an aficionado in anything, what would it be, Galen?
Say the question one more time.
If you were an aficionado in anything, what would it be?
What would I like to be an aficionado?
No, like right
in,
now.
Like now.
If we needed a panelist, we needed some aficionados.
I know how to recruit blood donors.
There you go.
How to recruit blood donors. But what about food? I mean, the food in the food category. I think I'm...
Oh, what food am I good at? I love fish. Like, so...
Fish.
Like,
all right.
Cooked, yeah, any fish that's prepared anyway. I'm pretty good at that.
Doctor, what are you a food aficionado
at? Wings.
Wings. Nice.
Really?
You like the hot ones?
So where are the best
hot
ones?
Wings, super hot.
Where are the best wings?
You know, I have not eaten wings here in Ocala yet because
Really?
I'm just learning the area. I haven't been here that long.
What is the connection between wings and cleavage? I've noticed that a lot of these places... Have you noticed this? That you go to
like the Hooters or whatever?
Right,
Wing
right.
House.
Hooters or whatever.
I don't know.
I think the Cafe Risque sells wings. I don't think it's called cleavage anymore if there's nothing there, right?
Yeah, that's
It's only cleavage if there's something else blocking the
maybe
rest
a
of it.
crease. I don't know. I'm not sure what they would term it.
Robin, what would you be an aficionado at?
Oh,
In the
Hershey
food
bars.
A Hershey bar aficionado.
That's right.
How many
love
Hershey
them.
bars are there?
Yeah, how
Well,
many
there's
else?
only one.
I mean, how the hell else do you prepare them?
Straight Hershey's.
See, there's something about women in chocolate. I haven't figured this out
When
yet.
you melt it, put strawberries in it, it's good.
Sounds delicious.
See,
So different dishes that include a Hershey's bar.
the fact that women compare sex to chocolate tells me that they have a totally different sex experience than we have. There's no way I would ever think it's like chocolate. All right, we need a segue from, I guess, just being silly about coffee to donating blood, Robin. We need a segue.
Well,
Now watch this, Doc. You're going to watch skill in action right here.
And now pressure's on. When you go to Life South Community Blood Centers, they always ask you separate questions about things. And one of the things that they like to encourage you to do is not drink anything with caffeine in it before you donate blood. But you can have all that you want after you donate. So go to Life South Community Blood Centers, donate 1 unit of blood. You can potentially save 3 lives. Become a member of the bone marrow donor listing and become an ambassador.
There you go. Now, the other day, just so you know, I gave a double dose for the
Yes,
first
you
time
did.
ever, a double dose of blood.
4th of July.
And to do this, they put the plasma back in, Galen. How do you say this? What do you do? You take the blood out, and they put the stuff goes back in other words, I never did this
Right.
before.
Well, we separate the blood into different components, and then we put the plasma and the platelets back into you.
So, in an effort to help Galen recruit people to donate blood, I have confessed to everybody that it took me until I was 40-something years old before I even gave blood the first time. And the number one reason, I was afraid. I wasn't afraid of the pain. I was afraid that I would pass out in front of the women who were taking the blood. That's the absolute honest truth. Well, when I was asked the other day if I would donate a double dose, suddenly I felt that pain again. I was worried again. But it was pain. Nothing. It was nothing to it, really. So next time you ask me again, I'll be doing it again.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
Love it. Love it.
All right. And I only say that not to, well, I guess I say it to get a laugh partly, but I also say it so that other people in my boat will say, oh, okay, if he can do it, I can do it.
Because Larry's only like 6'8".
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Galen,
got nothing to be afraid of.
Where's the Bloodmobile today?
Bloodmobile today, Larry, is at the Lowe's in Summerfield, out on 441.
Oh, okay.
Lowe's in Summerfield.
Yeah.
Right up from the Villages.
Yeah.
Is Lowe's spelled L''EAUS in France?
Probably.
What do you mean, the waters?
Yeah, you got me thinking.
The
and now
waters
I'm like,
what?
what?
Okay, if you can't get down to the Summerfield Lowe's, then go next door to the Cascades. That's where Life South is. Where would you go in Denell and Robin?
Right next door to Sweet Bay.
Sweet Bay.
All right, we're going to take a little break. We'll find out what the price of gasoline is, and then we will continue our discussion with Dr. John J. Scalercio and talk about his book Before It's Too Late. Galen, you have a great Monday.
All right, you guys are the best. Thanks, y'all.
All right, we'll be right back.
Are you wasting hundreds or thousands of dollars on termite retreat fees? If you're not with Turner Pest Control, you probably are. Turner Pest Control offers the industry's only termite and pest control package that never charges retreat fees, ever. You can get started today for only $99. This is a value of $500 or more. This includes treatments, installation of monitoring stations, quarterly pest control, and a lifetime guarantee, all for an unbelievable low $99. Even if you have another pest control provider, visit turnerpest.com to find out how you can avoid paying those high termite retreat fees.
The weather is brought to you by myfwc.com. Life jackets save lives. We're in Florida. Periods of clouds and sun today with a shower or thunderstorm in spots, mainly during the afternoon hours over the interior sections, the high 88 to 92. Then partly cloudy and warm tonight, those 70 to 74. Tomorrow, partial sunshine with a shower or thunderstorm in the area. Best chance in the afternoon, the high 88 to 92. For Wednesday, partly sunny with a shower or thunderstorm, mainly in the afternoon, high 86 to 90. From the Florida Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Joe Lundberg.
Are you eligible for Medicare or Medicaid? Then you may be eligible for more benefits and possible savings with a Care Needs Plus. HMO, SNP, plan from Care Plus. Care Needs Plus covers hospitalization and most prescription drugs with zero copays. You get dental coverage up to $2,500. Again, zero copays. And you may be able to enroll anytime. Call 1-855-404-7979 today to see if you're eligible. From 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. 7 days a week. From February 15th to September 30th, we are open. Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. Lake Marion and Sumter counties, this plan is available to anyone who has both medical assistance from the state and Medicare. Premiums, copays, coinsurance, and deductibles may vary based on the level of extra help you receive. Please contact the plan for further details. The benefit information provided is a brief summary and not a complete description of benefits. For more information, contact the plan. Limitations, copayments, and restrictions may apply. Benefits, formulary, pharmacy network, premium, and or copayments, coinsurance may change on January 1st of each year. CPHB Benefit Value Determination Report 2012, based on the average usual and customary retail price before insurance for dental services in Florida.
Legally Yours, brought to you by Fuller & Fuller Attorneys at Law. On the air every Wednesday morning at 10:30 a.m. with John Fuller, a board-certified civil trial lawyer for over 25 years. John welcomes your questions, from business to complex family matters to legal disputes. So tune in every Wednesday morning at 10:30 a.m. for Legally Yours with John Fuller, right here on WOCA 1370 AM and 96.3 FM, The Source.
All right, 22 minutes after 8 o'clock. Nice looking Monday morning. Hope you're doing well. Let's see where the best price of gasoline is. Right now in Ocala, the price on average for a gallon of regular unleaded is $3.40 a gallon. That is down 2 cents since yesterday. The prediction is that it'll keep dropping until we get later into the summer, and then I guess it'll go back up. Right now, though, the best price you can get in Ocala is at the Kangaroo Station on North US 441 at the intersection with 329. Down there, they have, or up there rather, they have gas for $3.30 a gallon. $3.30. That was called in just 48 minutes ago. In Denell, 30 minutes ago, $3.32 at the Marathon Station.
As you're driving down the road, you may love your car, you may hate it. But the fact remains that you've got to keep it running to get back and forth to where you need to go. WOCA, The Source, and Sunrise Automotive are here to help with that. For a limited time, if you mention WOCA, you will receive $10 off an oil change at Sunrise Automotive. That's right, not 10%, $10 off any oil change at Sunrise Automotive. Sunrise Automotive is an ASE certified automotive repair center, so they know how to take care of your car. Located at 1800 Northwest 10th Street. All you have to do is call to schedule your oil change, 690-1993. Mention that you heard this ad on WOCA and get $10 off an oil change. It's just that easy. So now you have 10 more reasons to head down to Sunrise Automotive, 1800 Northwest 10th Street, Ocala. And don't forget to listen to Matt every Monday morning at 10 a.m. for auto repair with personal care, right here on 1370 AM, 96.3 FM, The Source, your source for $10 off an oil change.
Pick up your copy of Lady Lake Magazine featuring local businesses and issues and written by local volunteers. Lady Lake Magazine has become a must-read in Marion, Lake, and Sumter counties, audited by Circulation Verification Council and serving the area for 23 years. Plus, Tom's Picks, a free referral for people who are looking for a company to do work for them. All we ask is that you tell them where you heard about them. Call Tom's Picks at 352-804-1223 and pick up your copy of Lady Lake Magazine today.
Now read Ocala Downtown Newspaper online.
All right, thank you, Joe. 25 minutes after 8 o'clock, just had a gentleman call in asking why the gas is so expensive here. When down in Newport Richey, it's $3.17 a gallon. I just went to the Newport Richey website, and actually it's $3.12 a gallon. Wow, why is it so much cheaper down there? I don't know. $3.12 is the best price you can get in Newport Richey. All right, let's go back to our guest. Dr. John J. Scalercio has been in the studio with us the last hour or more than an hour, and he's here. He's having fun with us, I hope, but he's also here to promote his book. And we've got about 5 minutes more to do this. And if you weren't listening earlier, we're going to kind of run through this real quickly. The book is called Before It's Too Late, and it is Dr. Scalercio's first book. He's a dentist here in town. New to town. I didn't realize you were new. When did you move here?
I started working for Bright Now Dental May 1st.
Oh, okay. Well, welcome to Ocala.
Thank you.
Well, welcome. So you mentioned that this is, do we call this a suspense novel?
It's a suspense.
And it sounds like the doctor in this story kind of loses it after his daughter is raped and murdered. So he
Yes. Unfortunately, he just can't control his emotions and he just lets go and.
Wow.
He starts on a downward spiral.
And he gets the mafia, because the police can't figure out who killed his daughter. He gets the mafia to figure it out, and they bring the guy to him. And then say, go, do whatever you want to do. Do you know what I saw one time, Doctor, that I'm reminded of? Yes. I saw a frog jump into a chicken coop. And when that frog jumped into that chicken coop, that was the end of that frog. Right. They pulled that thing apart. Did you hear the story about the coach or whatever it was that got killed and quartered?
No.
Oh, this was in Brazil. This was over the weekend.
Oh, okay.
He apparently had stabbed and killed one of the players a day or two earlier. Well, they had a fight, and I guess he was there on the field.
Okay.
So the fans rushed the field, killed him, beheaded him, put his head on a post, and cut his body up.
Wow.
It's almost like a novel.
Yeah.
Sounds like a novel.
Serious.
So that's what your doctor wants to do to this guy.
What he wants to do, but what he wants to do and what he does may be two different stories,
things, and that's what makes it an interest. So did you have that aha moment when you were writing the story where you said, "Oh, I've got a great idea for a twist"?
There's several twists in the book. It's but without the fear of giving anything away.
No, you don't want to do that. You don't want to do
that. But it's the ending is becoming somewhat controversial. Maybe like, have you seen the Soprano series, the movie, the Soprano program?
I know you're gonna hate me, but I have not seen it. No.
Never saw any of the Soprano episodes?
Robin, have you? No.
Okay. Well, at the very last episode, everybody believes that Tony's going to get whacked, and he's in a diner with his family, having a bite to eat, and you see two strangers walk in to the diner, and you think, okay, these are the hitmen, and they cross Tony's path, and Tony's following with his eyes, and the two men go into the restroom, and just as they exit the restroom, you're expecting them going to start to shoot.
Right.
The TV screen went black.
Oh, wow.
And I'm watching this, and I'm thinking, wow, I can't believe my cable just went out. Right at this moment, my cable went out. And then half a minute later, you start to see credits. I'm thinking, oh, I missed this. And I called a friend of mine right away. I said, what happened? She goes, I don't know. And it ended abruptly like that. Mm-hmm. And so for the next 2-3 weeks, it was a hot topic on radio talk shows, about...
I miss everything,
did you like the ending? Is this, or whatever? And now some of the people who have read my book, they've not called me, but called other people and said, did you read the book yet? And some of them said yes, some of them said no, not yet. And he says, you need to read it, because once you read it, I want to talk to you about the ending of the book.
Nice.
So I'm hoping it becomes as controversial a subject as
That one.
Sopranos was.
We've enjoyed talking to you, getting to know you, and
Thank you.
the book sounds awesome. I have a copy of it. It's called Before It's Too Late. We can all go buy it. We're going to find out. We've got 45 seconds to do this. If you want the copy I have, call me right now, and I'll leave it for you with your name on it. The rest of us have to go buy it. Can we buy it online?
You can buy it online at barnesandnoble.com, amazon.com. You can also go to my website, which is beforeitstoolate.bydrs.com.
Okay.
That's Before It's Too Late by drs.com.
Okay.
And also locally, the A Novel Idea bookstore is carrying a book.
Oh, excellent. Excellent.
I love that.
For the listeners, call us if you need the information about the book and how to get it and all that. And Dr. Scalercio, thank you for coming in today.
Thank you for having me.
Great interview. We'll be right back.
This is the Huckabee Report for Monday. I'm Mike Huckabee from North Little Rock, Arkansas. Last week, America celebrated the anniversary of our democratic revolution for freedom. Meanwhile, Egyptians got a second crack at getting freedom and democracy right. Details next. Don's dream of owning a home was crushed. Don became a victim of identity theft, and he didn't even know about it. Well, it didn't stop there. Even the business Don owned took a hit. With his credit ruined, Don couldn't even get a business loan. Nervous and confused, Don called LifeLock, the industry leader in identity theft protection. LifeLock went into action, uncovering multiple fraudulent credit applications that identity thieves were trying to open in his name. LifeLock shut him down, helping Don avoid further disasters associated with having an identity stolen. Don found out the hard way that identity theft has become so complex, you just can't fight it alone. Stories like this remind me why I chose to protect myself and my family with LifeLock Ultimate. Visit lifelock.com now.